This is a Brooklyn-bound 2 train. The next stop is Wall Street.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, July 10th. This is Not Your Advisor with NYU Grad. Welcome back. Wanted to before I begin, I want to thank John, one of the premium members, for helping me try to iron out and improve the audio quality. I think yesterday I was just making out with the microphone, and apparently John had reported that he was hearing some pops. So I'm going to try to improve the audio quality. Just make note, I'm not, a professional singer with a closed off studio, but I do have a pretty good mic, and I do use Adobe Audition, so I will try to improve the audio quality. Give me some feedback if today is any better. Just to kind of go through the markets, but before I do, I did have a few housekeeping items that I wanted to cover today. Today is the last day of the 40% off, commemorating the 1-year anniversary of me starting the podcast. So there have been like a dozen plus folks who've signed up. Thank you very much. Welcome to the dark side. Today will be the last day you can take part in the annual billing discount of 40%. It comes to $144. If you divide that out per day, it's 39 cents per day. I've only offered this pricing once before. I do not know if I will do this again, but take advantage of that before it goes away. The other bit of housekeeping, and I'm going to share a few, snippets of it, but I am working with a company you probably have never heard of. They're called Efani, E-F-A-N-I. So I've been trying to think about how I can best introduce this company to my subscribers. So I'm working with the general manager there for a discount, number one. But let me back up and kind of explain what Efani does and why I want to introduce it. So sometime between a year to 18 months ago, and I might have brought this up in another podcast, I was part of a sim hack. So if you don't know what that means, and I'll go through this, I'm probably going to have Mark, the GM, interviewed as a guest on my podcast. But basically what happens is, whether you're with Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, Mint, Boost Mobile, whatever carrier, somehow nefarious criminals gain access to your SIM card on your phone remotely. So there are a couple of ways that can be done, and I'll walk through this either today or maybe in another podcast. But remotely, these actors somehow convince your carrier that you, John Doe or Jane Doe, requested a SIM card change. And on the criminal end, they have a phone with that blank SIM card ready to go. And typically when the SIM card change happens, you, the legitimate customer, will get like a text, an email saying, press 1 to confirm you requested this SIM card change. If we don't hear from you in the next 15 minutes, we will process it. So, which is kind of asinine, right? It should be the opposite. Like, press 1 if you confirm the SIM card change. If we don't hear from you, give us a call. Nothing will change. That should be the default. Well, the criminals know how the fail-safe systems work, and through that, they were trying to sim hack me. They were pretty much successful in the phone hack. My phone became a brick. I couldn't make outbound calls. But as soon as I knew that this was happening, I called all of my financial institutions with a different phone, obviously, because my existing phone was a brick, and I locked down everything. That was the first thing I did. And when I interview Mark, I'm gonna walk through how you can protect yourself as best as you can without a service like F&E. Once that happens, you now have to try to get your phone back, your phone number back. And that's a little bit harder. And I'll save that for another day. But the tricky part is, even if you go to your Verizon store and you're under the SIM card attack and you get a brand new SIM card from the employee and you put it in your phone, Verizon corporate or T-Mobile or whoever, AT&T, has to send a text message confirming again you want to change your SIM card. And guess who that text message is going to? The person doing the SIM hack. And they just say 2 for no, 2 for no, 2 for no. So it gets very difficult to get your SIM reactivated. This is a proliferation happening right now of just hacking in general, but especially SIM hacks. And there are many ways that criminals can do this, whether they're getting your phone number off the address and social security number off the dark web, or it's an inside job where they either pay a potential employee at one of these carriers or one of the strip mall mobile phone stores that sell one of the carriers. They pay them, right, to help them with the SIM hack, or socially engineer by just calling the toll-free number of a carrier and say, hey, this is John Doe's wife, or this is Jane Doe's wife or husband or whatever, and they try to socially engineer this SIM card change request. But once they have your phone, the main issue, because who cares about the phone? Well, you would care, and I'm going to walk through it if you're a celebrity or if you have, selfie pics or nude pics of yourself on your phone. They can have access to all of that. But monetarily, what happens is, if you think about all of your crypto, bank accounts, trading accounts, retirement accounts, most financial institutions use your phone number or email. Your email address uses your phone number as a double authentication. So if you forget your password, the next step is recovery password, enter your email, then it'll say, can we text you the temporary password? Well, if the hacker has your text messages and your SIM card under their control, and all of your banks, email, etc. are texting them, oh, I forgot my password, here's the whatever 5-digit, 6-digit PIN, temporary PIN, they're now able to go and reset your passwords for all of your banks. And this is how this operates. So there are ways you can mitigate some of this without a service, but I switched once this happened to me to this company called F&E, and they are very popular with celebrities, high net worth individuals, any family person or business owner, entrepreneur who wants, one, to protect their SIM from being hacked, number two, who wants privacy, even though the carrier gets hacked, because they work with all the carriers, but they do not release their information to the carrier. So imagine like if you and I started a Boost Mobile, let's call it NYU Grad Mobile. We would then sit on top of, let's say, Verizon, right? We're just reselling Verizon. But as NYU Grad Mobile, or in this case F&E, they do not share any of their own network information or their customer information with the major carrier that they're piggybacking off of. So when I am walking around and my cell phone is pinging all of these cell towers, all of the carriers have no idea who I am anymore. And they make it super difficult. It's not impossible, obviously. Nothing's impossible when it comes to hacking. But they make it very difficult, almost not worth their time, because there's so many low-hanging fruit victims waiting with the other carriers. And they also offer a $5 million insurance guarantee. So I am going to post a video interview of Mark Kreitzman, who's the general manager at F&E, Natalie Brunel, who you probably know from the crypto and Bitcoin landscape, did a great interview of Mark, and they walked through it a bit, but I want to have Mark come on to the podcast so that we can share with you all how you can mitigate some of the risk now without investing in a service like F&E, as well as what F&E offers as a higher layer of protection. Now, if you've never been SIM hacked, great. I hope it never happens to you, but it's happening more and more. Every single carrier has been hacked. Just recently, AT&T was hacked with like 6 million existing customer data and 65 million previous customer data, their socials, their passwords, all leaked on the dark web. But it's not just AT&T, it's all of the carriers. They've all been hacked. And the reason that it's so easy is that these carriers make it easy to switch, right? You can go into a Verizon mobile store, buy a phone, an iPhone, get a phone number. With that same phone, go to T-Mobile, change your carrier, and change your phone number, change your SIM, all in the same day. And they're doing this to make this easy, convenient, and they just swap customers all the time with pricing discounts, and they give you free phones. But that ease of portability also makes ease of attack. So I'll be going into this more later on. All of my subscribers have an interest in financial markets, have an interest in building more wealth, have an interest in stocks, finance, Bitcoin, just money in general, and to how to make more money. So this is a ancillary partnership that I think makes 100% sense. I will release more data and information as I develop this partnership with them. I will be working on a discount for all of you, but just off the surface, it's per year for one line. If you bring your phone number from any of the carriers, you're basically switching your carrier. So if you're with T-Mobile, Verizon, Boost Mobile, AT&T, you're basically dropping them and you're moving to F&E. And one line per year is $999. It's billed one time annually, so it comes out to like $83 a month. You're just paying up front. It's a little bit more than going to Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T. It's a lot more than Boost Mobile, but you have the peace of mind of most likely not getting SIM hacked ever. And if you are a high net worth individual, if you have a family, and what they do is if you're a high net worth individual, if they can't hack, the primary income person, they'll go after the kids, right? Because you're all on the same family plan. If you're a business owner and you have employees that are on a cell plan as a group, this is a perfect solution to protect from SIM hacks. So with that, I kind of went off on the tangent here, but I will be releasing more information as this partnership grows. I have a poll just to see, has anyone here ever been SIM hacked or knows someone that was SIM hacked, or this is the first time you've ever heard of what a sim hack is. Let me know on the poll. So let's jump and pivot back into the markets. So here's the complexion of today. Very green day. Okay, everything was green. When you take a look at the semiconductor index, the top 30 components, they were all green. All of the Mag 7 are above the 50-day. Yields, are the 10-year yield specifically, is below 4.5%. So if we are on the Titanic heading for a climactic move, you want to make sure you're in the right area of the ship, because out of everyone that perished that evening when the Titanic sunk, I don't know if you knew this, but 706 souls survived. So you want to make sure you are a survivor of this. We are definitely looking like we're going to melt up here. But let's look at some of the breadth numbers for today. So we had for today's session real quickly, I'm pulling this up in real time so I get the after the close numbers. We had 1,008 new highs, 233 new lows. So that is a pretty big skew to new highs. We had 72% of stocks advancing versus 23% declining. 44% of stocks were below the 50-day moving average. If you recall, yesterday it was 50% were below the 50-day moving average. This is why I follow this every day. 36% of stocks were below its 200-day moving average. We opened and just went higher. The opening print or the first hour was the low of the day. Just to kind of give you a sense of what mega cap land looked like. Microsoft up 1.4%, Apple 1.8%, Google 1.1%, Meta up 0.89%, Nvidia up 2.6%, AMD up 3%, Texas Instruments down 1.2%, Micron up 4%, Amazon was up 0.25%, not that much. Google was up 1.1%. Meta, I already mentioned. Tesla was only up 0.35%, but they've been on a tear for like 10 days straight. Taking a quick look at sectors, every sector was green. I repeat, every sector was green. Technology was up 1.5%, basic materials 1.3%, utilities up 1.1%, healthcare 1.07%, industrials up 1.07%, real estate up 0.87%, communication service 0.7%. You get the picture. Everything was up. Even the lowest green was consumer defensive. That was up 0.6% today. So very bullish day. No doubt about that. What was strong on an individual basis? So SOXL, which is the long ETF for semiconductors, up 6.7%. CarMax 6.3%. ACMR Research 5.6%. Pan American Silver 5%. By the way, everything that I covered with the premium members on charts were green today. So I highly recommend that you all sign up. Silver Corp Metals up 4.5%, Uranium URNM up 4.2%, Rivian 4.1%, SILJ 4.07%, Carvana 3.7%, Wheaton Precious Metals 3.6%, Kinross Gold 3.6%, ASML 3.5%, AMD 3.4%, Beazer Homes 3.2%, Palantir 3.2%, DR Horton 3.08%, Restoration Hardware 2.7%, Red Rock Resorts 2.7%, Lennar 2.5%, Toll Brothers 2.5%, UPro 2.4%, GDXJ 2.47%, and I can go on and on. There are a lot of things up 2% plus. What was weak? Now, this sucks if you lost money today, but there were things that were down big. Kura Sushi down 15%. There were a lot of restaurants that were down today. Fresh Pet down 5.2%, Hut 5.05%, Kava Restaurant down 5.03%, Lyft down 4%, Roku down 3%, CrowdStrike down 3%, DoorDash down 3%, Reddit down 2.89%, Natural Gas Futures down 2.7%, Uber down 2.7%, Hims and Hers down 2.6%, DJT down 2.6%, Crocs down 2.4%, and then you have Birkenstock down 2.06%. free members, I did want to also share the actual screenshot. It's in the show notes of a paying member. I'll just use his initials, GW. And this was the Nike play I was talking about. He was going to hold on to Nike long term. Had asked me what my thoughts were back when it was like near 105 plus. And that's when it was breaking below the 50-day. The chart had many bearish signs. I said, look, it looks bearish. If it goes below the 50, I would cut bait and run, especially if you're sitting on a gain. He took my input as well as other inputs, I'm sure, because my paying members don't follow me alone. They're making their own decisions. They let the position go around 105, and Nike traded down to 73. So I don't take credit. I take partial credit. But GW sidestepped a 30% drawdown. Now, I have no idea how much of Nike he owned. It could have been $1,000 position. It could have been $100,000 position, right? But even if it was only $1,000 position and he saved himself 30% loss, that is more gained than my annual subscription price. I take requests for charts from my premium members just to get a second set of eyes for you and a gut check. I guarantee that you will get value from my subscription service. The discount ends tonight for 40% off for annual billing. If you're a free member, thank you so much. Totally fine. If you don't have the funds, please just continue supporting by being a free subscriber. I will see you all after the Thursday session. Paying members, please stay on. I have about 25 charts to go through with you today. That's my train.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.